What is up, everyone? Good morning. Happy Sunday, week 2. We're coming at you live. My name is Kyle. If you're new to the Fantasy Fellowship, we're going to be going over the inactive start sits. Any questions you guys got, fire them out. I'm going to rifle through what I've got put into the comments already. This one already came out. They were trying to test out J.K. Dobbins earlier this morning, but he has already been ruled out. J.K. Dobbins inactive. That's going to make Kenyon Drake an interesting low-end RB2 flex play. He was the preferred running back last week, so I think if you needed someone to whip in there, I don't hate the Kenyon Drake play. I think he could be okay today. Alvin Kamara. They were testing him out. Again, he missed practices earlier in the week. They tested him out. He's been ruled out. Alvin Kamara officially out. That's going to make Mark Ingram the starting running back today. Going up against the Bucs, I don't know if I can recommend Mark Ingram as a starting RB2 for you guys. If you're in a pinch, I'd almost prefer Kenyon Drake, I think, in terms of, I guess, if you had to grab someone off the waiver wire. But Mark Ingram, kind of like a RB3 type play this week. DeAndre Swift is expected to play with a low ankle sprain, which is, again, significantly better than a high ankle sprain. He was kind of limited throughout the week. He didn't practice 2 days, got a limited day in on Friday. So he might lose a little bit of snaps to Jamal Williams, but he's still going to be in there for the high leverage plays. I still expect him to hit his floors. So I wouldn't bench DeAndre Swift unless you guys have some stellar options on the bench. If you have any DeAndre Swift questions, please fire him up. I still think he's a solid RB2 this week, kind of, like a top 15, top 20 running back. Julio Jones was going to be a game-time decision, but they just came out and said it's not looking good for Julio Jones. And then I just saw right now he is officially inactive for this one. So that leaves Mike Evans and Russell Gage as the top 2 receivers there. Let me see what else we got. George Kittle, there's some still, like, we don't know what's going on with George Kittle, and because they play later today, they're probably going to test him out 90 minutes before kickoff. He's going to go through warm-ups, I think, and then we'll see. He did get the practice on Friday, so he is, I guess he's got that going for him. So if he's able to go, we're not going to know about, until 90 minutes before that late 3, I think it's 3:25 start Central Time. So you need to make sure you have a backup tight end there just in case. So if you're looking at, there's 5 games this afternoon here, you want to make sure you got a backup in there, whether it's Hayden Hurst or maybe one of the Denver guys, something like that. Or maybe you hold out for a guy that's on Sunday or Monday night. Mike Evans expected to play. T. Higgins expected to play. He cleared concussion protocols. It sounds like Allen Lazard's going to play. There's the J.K. Dobbins officially ruled out news. And then Mark Ingram is going to split time with Tony Jones. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous about playing Mark Ingram. Not only am I nervous about playing Mark Ingram just in general, but it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rush defense, which has been dominant for the last season or two. So I don't know if it's a great one. I actually think we might see some Taysom Hill more in the backfield too. He only had 4 carries last week. Maybe Taysom Hill gets up to 6 to 8 carries in today's game. This one's kind of a low-hanging fruit one. But if you needed a tight end, say you got George Kittle and you were just like, oh God, I need a tight end. Well, the number 2 tight end for the Jets, CJ Uzomah, has been ruled out, which leaves Tyler Conklin as like their standalone best tight end. And he dominated the snaps last week, dominated the routes. Tyler Conklin's probably a guy we're going to be talking about on the waiver wire next week. So if you need a tight end, I don't hate Tyler Conklin. Got him in some DraftKings lineups this week here. And we'll see. I would say George Kittle right now, probably more doubtful than positive. Good morning to Justin. He's got Colts -3 and Cleveland money line locked in. Let's go for it. And yeah, Green Bay today. We got the Packer cap on. Hoping for a bounce back from that offense. Is Mike Evans going to play? It sounds like it. Mike Evans is expected to play. Here is, the report was from Adam Schefter just a few minutes ago. So, again, they've already ruled out Julio. They also ruled out their starting left tackle, Donovan Smith. So it's kind of a tough offensive line situation, but Mike Evans is going to play. I'm kind of iffy on Mike Evans. I don't think he's a great play this week. Again, he's always struggled against the Saints' Marshawn Lattimore in coverage. And you factor in the offensive line, it does make me nervous. But if someone's going to catch a touchdown, it's probably Big Mike. Julio out. Should I drop him for Drake or McKenzie? Were you going to be Aiden? Were you going to be starting? Were you going to be starting Julio Jones today? It depends. Like I think Isaiah McKenzie and Kenyon Drake are both kind of fringe start guys here. I don't know if I feel great about them in my lineup. There's got to be someone else on your bench that you think that you like there. I picked up Ingram and still with the toss-up. You got to go with Hendo and Dillon. You got to go Hendo Dillon. Also, do you like Barkley over 4 catches and Conklin? I love Conklin over 3. If he's set at 2.5, he's going to get 3. I feel good about Conklin. And then I think I do feel good about Saquon Barkley hitting over his 3.5 prop today. He's going to be busy. He's arguably their best receiver on the team. And last week they showed they're gonna target him a lot, and he's going to be running a lot of routes. So I think both guys good chance to go over today. Sterling or Mark Ingram? I'm going to go with Sterling Shepard. The usage was pretty good last week for Sterling, especially coming off an Achilles injury. From what I've seen, like especially with like significant either knee or Achilles or any lower body injuries, receivers tend to come out better and quicker than running backs. So I think Sterling Shepard, I think he's probably a guy you want to pick up off waivers, because to me he is their best receiver. He's their most trusted guy. He's been there. He knows how to be a pro. I think Sterling Shepard's probably the guy I would go with. And Aiden with the Jags. I think that's going to be a good game, man. I hope we get my Christian Kirk touchdown in today. I'm hoping a big day for Christian Kirk, and we'll see if ETN, J-Rob, and the Zay Jones can play. But it should be a good game. I think the Colts are likely to win, but who knows? The Jags, man, they're going to be much improved on offense. I think I would play Conklin over Kmet. It's either way, it's a tough matchup for both teams. Conklin going against the Browns, you got the Kmet going versus the Packers. But I trust Kmet to be involved. And what we saw last week too, against the Browns, they were able to kind of shut down the outside receivers for the Carolina Panthers. I mean, Robbie A had a good day, but Denzel Ward kind of shut down DJ Moore. So maybe we see Joe Flacco really lean into the tight end. So I think all the positive signs. Again, CJ Uzama's out. I think Conklin's probably the safer play. I think I would go with that. Thoughts on Kupp over yards, Muth on catches, JT rushing yards. Let me open up my DraftKings here. I believe Kupp was set at about 92.5 yards. Give me the over on Kupp yards. Muth catches. It's a tough matchup for Pat Freiermuth today. Actually, I like, as far as the Steelers go, I kind of like Chase Claypool. There's the Patriots slot corner is quite small. I think Chase Claypool is probably going to have a good day on his catches. So they have Pat set at about 3.5. I see a lot of people taking the over there. I think 3 to 4 is probably his fair bet. So I'm kind of 50-50 on that. If you had to lean into it, I suppose you could take the over. But I like the Chase Claypool over 3.5. I would rather have Claypool over 3.5 because it's Claypool's minus 125 at 3.5. And Freiermuth is minus 140 at 3.5. Give me Chase Claypool. He did catch 4 of his 6 targets last week. So I think Claypool, I would rather have Claypool than Freiermuth. And then JT rushing yards. I mean, you probably got to take the JT over. He's probably set at about 100. Let's see here. They got him at 10. Wow, it bumped up to 103.5. He's probably going to get 25 touches, man. If he touches the ball 25 times, he's probably going over 100. So I would feel good about that. And then we got the Kareem Hunt here going up against the Jets. I think both Browns running backs are probably pretty strong plays today. They have Kareem Hunt at 40. So if he's able to get, 8 to 10 touches, well, actually, he just notched down here. They put him at 38.5. People are taking the over on this. I'll do the over on Kareem Hunt yards. He did have 10 targets last week, but they're different defenses, man. I mean, the Bengals kind of soft in the middle. They're better on the perimeter. So that's why Freiermuth was able to kind of hog the targets. I think the Patriots, though, probably a little bit more stingy on defense. It could happen, but I think because the odds are minus 125 for Claypool, I think I'd rather have Claypool at 3.5. But both probably could hit. Do I play Chase Edmonds, Damian Harris, Allen Robinson, or Rashad Bateman over Mike Evans PPR? So I'll put it this way. Chase Edmonds is the safest play. Last week, I mean, the New York Jets running backs caught a lot of passes against this Baltimore Ravens defense. So I do think I like Chase Edmonds in this game. He's probably, again, if it's a full PPR league, so I think Chase Edmonds is probably the only guy on here that I'm going to guarantee goes over double digits. There's question marks with Damian Harris. There's question marks with Allen Robinson. And then even Rashad Bateman, like if he didn't get that 55-yard bomb last week, we'd be really asking a lot of questions about Rashad Bateman. So I'm leaning towards Chase Edmonds being the safest start. If you wanted to potentially play Allen Robinson, I think that's okay, but I think I'm going Chase Edmonds here because of the full PPR. And I have Chase Edmonds in a lot of my DraftKings lineups today. And I was talking with Justin about this, but when you have a defense that can get to the quarterback and has good edge rushers, there's an easy way to kind of, negate that and make them pause. And it's to throw those quick screens. It's to have the running back kind of slip behind the guy and catch a ball, because that really makes the defender have to pause and hesitate and think about coming up the field quickly. So I like Edmonds. Matt Boehm coming in hot. Good morning to you, sir. Tight end question. We got Zach Ertz or Tyler Higbee. So last week, Travis Kelce destroyed the Arizona Cardinals, and now you got, or my bad, it was Zach Ertz going up against, who does Ertz play? The Raiders. So Travis Kelce destroyed the Raiders. I can't think very properly. Who did played the Raiders last week? It was Gerald Everett. So they had a good game against those guys. I do think Ertz is probably the guy here that's the safer play. With Tyler Higbee, again, they mentioned they wanted to get Allen Robinson more involved. It's against Atlanta. I mean, last week the Saints tight end caught 2 for 40, I believe. So to me, I'm kind of so on Higbee. I think I'm going to lean with Zach Ertz. I think that's a better matchup going up against the Raiders. I'm just pulling up the numbers right now. What did the Raiders allow for tight ends last week? I mean, the Raiders allowed 6 for 78 and a touchdown last week. So I think that's a good matchup. Gerald Everett took advantage of them. So that's probably where I'll play Zach Ertz. And then keep your questions coming in. I'm just refreshing my feed here to see if there's any new injury news coming in today. Leonard Fournette is in. Teron Armstead for the Dolphins is in. DeAndre Swift is in. J.K. Dobbins again is out. Marcus Peters is in for the Ravens. Michael Carter or Jeff, half PPR? This one's interesting. I think Michael Carter's probably the guy that I feel more comfortable with. He had double-digit carries, tons of catches. It's Joe Flacco dumping the ball off. With Jeff Wilson, I like the matchup, but man, I mean, they're going to have, runs for Trey Lance, runs for Deebo Samuel. I think it's a little bit unsure for me. So I think I'm going to take Michael Carter just off the week 1 usage. Cardinals look bad. The Cardinals, well, the problem is the Cardinals defense is really bad. And the issue with the Cardinals offense right now is, I mean, they don't have Rondale Moore. They don't have DeAndre Hopkins. They're just kind of lacking some punch offensively. And I just think that defense is going to make them have to throw the ball a lot this year. And that was kind of my analysis coming into the season. Like it's a really bad defense in Arizona. So that's why I think I like the passing volume today to be pretty high for Kyler Murray, which means probably some good things coming for Zach Ertz. And again, the Raiders allowed 6 for 78 and a touchdown last week. So even if you don't get the touchdown, I mean, you're looking at, maybe 5-6 catches for Zach Ertz. He did have a good practice this week here, so maybe he's feeling better off the calf injury. So I think I'm comfortable with Zach Ertz today. McLaurin or Cortland Sutton, half PPR. I'm going Cortland Sutton here. I think it's very clear for the Broncos pecking order. They're going to throw the ball to Sutton. They're going to throw the ball to Jerry Jeudy. After that, I mean, they got a bunch of tight ends and backs to throw the ball to. So Sutton is probably the guy that I trust more here. With Terry McLaurin, I like the matchup against Detroit, but the emergence of the rookie Jahan Dotson, you also have Curtis Samuel, you have Logan Thomas back, and you got the 2 running backs, Gibson and J.D. McKissick. I think there's more mouths to feed in Washington. So I'm going to go Cortland Sutton here. He's got a beautiful matchup against the Houston Texans. It's their home opener. Last week, the Texans allowed 17 catches for 240 yards and a touchdown to the wide receiver position. So think about Michael Pittman last week. He had a smash day. I think Cortland Sutton's kind of a similar body type to Cortland Sutton. So that's where I'm going to go with for sure. And I know the Lions, the Lions allowed a big game to A.J. Brown last week, but A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, much different style players here. So I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton there. Let me hit the refresh on the button. See what we got going on for other inactives. Cortland Sutton or Jalen Waddle. I'm going to continue. Waddle is like the ideal guy for PPR leagues, but I'm going to stick with Cortland Sutton. He's got the better chance for more yards. I'm probably looking at like maybe 5 catches for 80 yards for Sutton as a floor today. I think he's going to. And last week on Monday Night Football, they attempted some deep shots to Cortland Sutton, and Russell Wilson was just kind of off on a few of those throws here. So I think Sutton's the guy here. Do Sutton over Waddle and McLaurin, and I think that's in line with most people. Most people like Sutton. But keep your questions in. We'll be going live for another 10-15 minutes here. I did want to just hit refresh on my player news feed to see if anybody else is inactive today. Laviska Shenault inactive for the Giants, or against the Giants today, so the Panthers not really trusting him. I did want to mention Leonard Fournette has been nursing a hamstring injury. He was limited in practices throughout the week. And then the other note here was Keyshawn Vaughn, the backup running back, was a healthy scratch today. So I just want you guys to double check your waiver wires. Go see if the rookie running back Rachaad White is active or if he's available, because he's definitely worth a stash. I think, again, if Leonard Fournette's got a hamstring thing, those are some of the worst injuries for these skill players here. So you could see more Rachaad White today. And if anything happens to Fournette, maybe more Rachaad White coming soon here. So he's an easy stash play. I like Rachaad White. Do I start St. Brown over McLaurin? I think so. Amon-Ra St. Brown has just been a beast. He's gotten double-digit targets. He got the touchdown last week. I think he's scored in like 6 or 7 of his last few games. I think you go with the momentum, Amon-Ra St. Brown. And then the other part of that is Washington did not defend Christian Kirk very well from the slot last week. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, he runs most of his stuff from the slot. So I think that's probably going to be a trend that we look forward to, is whoever the Washington Commanders are, you're going to want to probably lean into that slot matchup here. So if Amon-Ra St. Brown hits, we'll know 2 for 2 start slot receivers against the Washington Commanders. So we're having fun here. Let me see what else. Leonard Fournette. I'm looking around here for any other inactives here. Again, Julio Jones inactive. The Cleveland Browns are going to be without their right tackle today, Jack Conklin. So that might be a little bit concern. But otherwise, I do think we're pretty much all caught up on the injury reports here. Would you drop Madison for White? I don't have Cook. Again, so for me, I don't love rostering handcuff running backs. I like a guy that's involved in the game plan. So like Rachaad White last week, even though he didn't get a lot of touches, he was involved. I know Madison was involved as well, but I think the ceiling's probably higher for Rachaad White. If Leonard Fournette were to go down, Rachaad White is in for a pretty big season. Whereas with Alexander Madison, I do like Madison. He's been a running back one for us in the past, but I think I'm going to lean. I think I'd lean with the rookie, the hidden upside there. I'm gonna go for Rachaad White for a stash. The Bengals are a great defense to play this week. I was actually surprised with how cheap they were priced in DraftKings. I think they're the 3rd cheapest defense on the main slate today. So I think Bengals, again, one of the things that I like to look at, and I have it on thefantasyfellowship.com. If you just click into, I have a chart that shows like all of the Vegas odds. And this week, the Cowboys are favored to only score about 16 or 17 points. So that's a very strong defensive play for Cincinnati. I think the defenses you want to start this weekend, probably Green Bay, San Fran, the Browns, the Bengals, the Broncos, maybe the Rams. Those are some of the top defenses to start this week. Taysom Hill, a top 10 TE this week. I picked up Taysom Hill in one of my leagues, Justin, because I need a tight end. I'm rocking Logan Thomas today, but man, if Taysom Hill, especially with Alvin Kamara out, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom Hill gets a few more carries today. He only had 4 last week, so I think, maybe 6 to 8 carries for Taysom Hill, and he's always got a chance to either catch a touchdown, run a touchdown, or throw a touchdown. So to me, I don't know if I'm going to say top 10. I'd put him in the top 15 though. If you need to stream him, I think he's worth a shot today. And it's at home too. They're paying him tons of money to be a tight end, so I think he's worth a play. Also, would you start Evans? I'm benching him as of now. Have Henry and Henderson at RB 1-2, then Diggs and Sutton for wide receiver 1-2. Flexing Dillon. Should I try and get Evans in my lineup? No, man. I think you hit this right on the head. I think leaning into AJ Dillon, especially at home against the Chicago Bears Sunday Night Football. Dillon's in for a really safe floor today. I think he's going to end up getting the ball 12 to 15 times on the ground and maybe adding 3 or 4 receptions. So I like the A.J. Dillon call here. And Mike Evans, just even a healthy Mike Evans against Marshawn Lattimore has not been great in the past. So coming off of a weird injury week for Evans, I think you've made the right call. So I'm going to go A.J. Dillon over Mike Evans here. Bengals or Browns defense? Whew, that's tough. That's tough. I'm gonna go Cleveland Browns because it's a home game for them. It's their home opener today here, so I'll go with the Cleveland Browns. I got Knox, so I'm iffy. Well, if Gabe Davis is out, Knox might be in. I know he disappointed last week, but the opportunity for Gabe Davis to maybe miss the game or be limited in the game leans pretty good for Dawson Knox. I want to see what Let me look and see. I don't think the Titans they didn't allow a single catch to the Giants tight ends last week because the Giants tight ends are not very good. So I'm interested in Knox, but maybe we roll Taysom Hill out this week. I'll go with Taysom Hill for you. Let's see here. Guys like Michael Carter and Jeff Wilson are on waivers along with White. Still drop Madison for White. Wow, Michael Carter's out there. I think if Carter's out there, he's the guy. I would rank them as Carter, White, Wilson. I'm not a big Jeff Wilson fan. I'm actually very curious to see which running back gets the second touches after Wilson. Is it Tyrion Davis-Price? Is it Jordan Mason? I think there's probably just it's a huge committee for San Fran. So I think Michael Carter would be my preference. I for sure would add Michael Carter over Alexander Mattison. I think that's a good spot there. Flacco or Cooper Rush? Justin, what are we doing? Is this a super flex? Well, Flacco offers no rushing upside. I think Cooper Rush offers a little bit, but man, oh man, give me Joe Flacco because he's probably going to throw the ball another 50 times today. I suppose he could score a touchdown or two. Go with Flacco, which then I guess makes the defensive question a little interesting because we talked about the Browns versus the Cowboys. Derek Carr or Lamar Jackson. Derek Carr is in for a smash spot today. I mean, we saw Patrick Mahomes light that Cardinals defense up for 5 touchdowns. I do like Lamar Jackson today. I believe he's played well against him in the past. For me, like my head says to play Lamar Jackson, but my intuition saying Derek Carr is probably going off today. And I don't know if you guys saw, but Devontae Adams is playing for the first time in front of his grandmother. I believe it's their first game attending in the NFL. So I really like Derek Carr today. It'd be tough, but I think I'm playing Derek Carr over Lamar Jackson today. But I can't do it. You got to play Lamar, and we'll see if Carr can do it on the bench. San Fran because Dak got super flex. Yeah, go with Flacco. We know what we're getting with Flacco. Duvernay or sleeper? I think he's more of a one-hit wonder. His usage last week was not great. After Rashad Bateman, they're using a handful of receivers. That's Duvernay himself, James Proche. You also have Demarcus Robinson. They used Isaiah Likely a lot. I think you're probably going to be playing whack-a-mole. I mean, outside of Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman, you're probably going to be playing whack-a-mole here. I will say, though, Duvernay, if you pick Duvernay up this week, give it this week. Let's see if he's more involved in the offense after his nice game last week. He could be a guy that slowly becomes more consistent. I don't know what we're ever going to feel. I don't know if we're ever going to feel comfortable starting Devin Duvernay week to week here. So I think he's a hold for one more week. Let's see what he does against the Dolphins. But I'm thinking it was more just a random happening week 1. AJ Dillon or Leonard Fournette. I mean, in theory, you should probably play Leonard Fournette. He is the lead back in the Bucs offense. My heart says to play A.J. Dillon. I think he's going to score a touchdown and get a lot of touches, probably upwards of 15, 16 touches in this game combined. But I think you probably have to play Leonard Fournette. Let me actually just look. I want to see Leonard Fournette. I want to see his games against the Saints the last few years. And Fournette, I mean, he ran hot last week. I don't think he's going to do the same against the Saints. Last year against the Saints, he went 8 for 26 on the ground and 3 for 17 as a receiver. That was only 7. I mean, that's even full PPR league. So that he only got 4 points against the Saints in one game last year. And then in the other game, he got 34 yards on the ground and 33 yards on the reception. So I'm actually thinking he's never played well against the Saints in a few games. He's had one good game against the Saints. I think I'm going to tell you to play AJ Dillon over Leonard Fournette today. Chase TD is at -115 and Higgins at +140. That's the play, right? Wow, they moved Jamar Chase up. Yesterday when I was looking, they had him at plus odds. I think you could reasonably take both to score. But it's when you get say you have 2 receivers on the same team and they both have plus odds, it's almost free money. You take both, and then if one of them hits, then you profit. But in that case, now that Chase is at -115, that kind of makes me pause a little bit because then you do need both to score to profit in that one. So it's not as juicy as it was yesterday. AJ Dillon, half PPR. In half PPR, I'm going to tend to play more running backs because, again, If they get the touchdown, they get the carries, they get the yards. I think A.J. Dillon's probably locked into 70 to 90 yards tonight, and his touchdown odds are probably pretty dang good too. So it went back to +1. Okay, so if it's +100, then yeah, you can take Chase, take Higgins, take both in the score, but in separate. You can't do that together. Do separate bets, and if one of them scores, you win. If both scores, you still win, but you win big time. So that's where I will lay with that. But we got about 4 more minutes left to go here before I get ready and start setting my lineups. Get your final questions in there for today. I'm just looking around to see if any other inactives have been declared. Again, Julio Jones was the last one inactive. It actually makes me interested because we've talked about Mike Evans a lot on the show today. I actually think Russell Gage might be the most busy receiver for Tampa Bay today. So Russell Gage is worth a play for sure. He's definitely more of a full PPR play though. And I'm open to him on DraftKings since they're full PPR. Aaron Jones or A.J. Dillon, half PPR. So that one's tough. I think you got to play Aaron Jones. Last week, only 8 touches for Aaron Jones. That's going to get corrected. I expect him to be more involved as a runner and a passer. So I'm going to say Aaron Jones. He's got the higher ceiling, that's for sure. They're both great plays this week, but Aaron Jones is probably a top 5 play. A.J. Dillon's maybe a top 15 play. So I'll go with Aaron Jones here. And you get the half PPR boost, so I like that. But I'm going to say both Packers backs score touchdowns tonight. Packers probably put up at least 3 or 4 touchdowns tonight, or at least that's the plan. We'll see. But it looks like we're pretty much good to go on inactives here. So if you guys do have any more final questions, you can fire them in there. Otherwise, I'm going to get out of here in a minute or two. And then if you guys do need to hit me up on Twitter or TikTok or comment on this video, I'll try and get back to your questions before the game here. But I think we're set. We're looking at a very fun day today. I need big Christian Kirk days. I'm big on Cortland Sutton as well today. I need some big games from both of those guys. But overall, this was fun. I'm going to get out of here, though. You guys enjoy your Sunday week 2. May all of your fantasy guys play well. Nobody get hurt. And good luck, guys. We'll see you in a future video. Peace.